December 1914. On the muddy fields of Flanders, once peaceful farmlands tended by Belgian farmers, only waterlogged trenches, tangled barbed wire, and scattered corpses remained. The thunder of artillery echoed endlessly. Smoke hung thick in the air, and among it all were young soldiers, most barely 18 or 19, trying to survive one more day. On the British side, Sergeant James Collins crouched in the trench, clutching a small, damp photo of his family. He could no longer feel his fingers, only the freezing cold seeping through his uniform. Far ahead, beyond the no man's land, tiny flickers of light appeared, candles, perhaps, or lanterns, glimmering faintly through the dark. "What the hell are the Germans doing over there?" one soldier asked. Collins peered closer. Then he heard it, singing. Soft at first, then clearer as the wind carried the melody across the battlefield. Stille Nacht, Heilige Nacht. Silent night. The British soldiers froze. Some chuckled in disbelief, others simply listened. Wide-eyed, the melody rose and spread, a Christmas carol sung by the very men who had been shooting at them for weeks. No one gave an order. No one spoke, but then, from the British trench, a soldier began to sing along, hesitant, trembling, yet enough to bridge the distance between enemies with music. Another joined in, then another. Soon, both sides were singing together, the same hymn in two languages, echoing across the frozen fields of Flanders. When the last notes faded, a voice called out from the German side. "Tommy, you no shoot, we no shoot." Laughter broke the silence. A German soldier climbed out of his trench, hands raised, holding a bottle of wine. The British aimed instinctively, but no one fired. The man walked slowly forward, offering the bottle as if in a toast. And then, something unthinkable happened. A British soldier stepped out to meet him. They shook hands, right there, in the middle of no man's land, among the corpses and the mud, not because of an order, not because of a treaty, just because they were both human. Within hours, hundreds of men from both sides had climbed from their trenches. They traded cigarettes, chocolate, badges, and family photos. Some brought bread, others shared canned meat or rum. A young German officer offered a cigarette to a British private and said, in broken English, "Tonight, we are friends. Tomorrow, we'll see." Candles flickered across the snow, lighting faces caked with mud but softened by smiles. Someone kicked out a leather ball, and before anyone could protest, a football match began. No referees, no boundaries, just laughter, cheering, and the crunch of boots on frozen ground. One British soldier, Harold, later recalled, "We played football while the bodies of our friends still lay beneath the snow. At that moment, I didn't see enemies anymore. We were just young men caught in a war none of us really understood." As night fell, they took photos together, grainy images. Yet the smiles were unmistakable. They sang, prayed, and even read passages from the Bible, translating between English and German, verses about peace on earth to men of good will. But at dawn, orders came down from command. No more talking, no more contact with the enemy. The war continues. Reluctantly, officers fired warning shots, the other side did the same. Then, one by one, soldiers returned to their trenches. The artillery roared again, drowning out the songs of the night before. Many soldiers later confessed they couldn't bring themselves to shoot straight at the enemy. One wrote in his diary, "I saw their faces, I couldn't aim, I fired into the air." Sergeant Collins kept a small brass lighter, engraved with the words, Weihnachten 1914, Christmas 1914. He carried it through the rest of the war, through the Somme, through Ypres, until the day the guns finally fell silent. He said that whenever he looked at it, he remembered that even in hell, there were moments of heaven. The Christmas Truce was later written about in soldiers' memoirs. Though often omitted from official records, commanders called it a dangerous act of fraternization, harmful to military morale. But for those who lived it was the one time they truly felt human again. Amid the bombs and hatred, they created a brief miracle. A night when songs silenced the guns. None of them meant to be heroes. They simply longed to live, to love, and to remain human. The war's journey was far from over. Stay with our channel to follow the next stories from the front lines, each one a fragment of courage, sorrow, and humanity in the heart of war.